What you want, when you want it, where you want it. This is The Mesh. I'm with the band, your front row ticket to interviews and jam sessions with up-and-coming artists.
This is Chad Austin, and this month's episode of I'm With the Band features Hickory-bred but Nashville-based Matty Mcree. Newly signed to Driving Red Records, his new EP, Just One Night Away, will be out in about a month. He's also got a live three-piece album coming out just before Christmas. Let's listen.
Tempted hello. I wonder if she's ever been broken down before. As if to cause some distraction, she turns around slow, and every eye upon her back as she walks out the door.
Today in the studio we have Matty Mcree, who has joined us from Nashville. Originally from Hickory, but now Nashville, right?
Yeah, from Greenville, South Carolina, by way of Hickory, now Nashville.
No, let's talk about that then. So when did you make the move from Greenville to Hickory?
1994, I started at Lenore Ryan College and stayed in Hickory from 94 to about 2003, and then moved to Nashville until present day, still in Nashville.
Still in Nashville. Well, you used to play in a band called Temple Terrace.
Yes.
And were you a part of the Norvegine Dream?
No.
So that was after the fact?
Yes.
Now, those guys, and you were still a tight-knit group of people.
Yep.
Jason Roseman. Now, I don't know everybody in that group, but I know that you guys have always been together. Why don't you talk about some of those guys and who they are, since they're still part of this community here?
Yeah, me and Jason Roseman we started Temple Terrace as a two-man acoustic, and it grew to a four-man before I moved. They're a good band. Norvegine Dream, good band. Matt Riggs, good drummer. Rob Walmsley, incredible.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
Was the move to go to Nashville sudden? Did they know that was coming?
I wouldn't say it was sudden, but it was. We lost our bassist. He quit, and I wanted to relocate because I thought we were good enough to get out from not taken away from the Catawba Valley area, but it's not a music mecca like Nashville. I said, Let's go somewhere else. And Charlotte wasn't an option. We'd been playing Charlotte for years. So I was like, let's move. Everybody was pretty content to stay, so I went on. Yeah.
You know, that's something that I want to touch on. I've been playing Charlotte for years, and it's so disappointing that there's so many great musicians, and they all choose the cover tune path, just about. The few who don't have about 3 places to play.
Yeah, and struggle.
Yeah. You don't make any money.
No.
I mean, to the audience, if you're in a cover tune band, you can go between, when you're starting out, you might be able to do $300 to $400 a night. Once you get established, you can move up to the $700, $800 range. Before the economy hit, if you were fortunate enough, you could get up to the $1,100, $1,200 range, especially some of the dancier clubs.
The good old days.
The good old days, yeah, that's gone to pot. But if you're an original artist, I mean, you're doing good to get $150 a night, and then you got the tip jar going on.
Yep.
So when you made the move to Nashville, has any of that changed?
You don't make money playing covers or doing originals in Nashville. So I don't know, it's just such a great place. Everybody's so good, and everybody's in the same boat. So you can meet and put together a band within 2 minutes if you needed to, and everybody realizes that they may get $20, $25 a piece to play the show, and they don't care. They're happy for the work. Let's go. Let's play. It's not like that anywhere else.
Do you have to have a second job?
Yeah, I'm a substitute teacher.
Are you really?
Glamorous.
Hey, whatever pays the bills, and it keeps you in the spotlight.
Yeah.
So you get to be able to talk.
Right. Stay in front of people.
That's what Sting did.
Okay.
So, any particular class, or do you just whatever they tell you got to go teach?
Yeah, from pre-K to 12th grade. Good schools, bad schools, mostly bad because the state will give me more money to do bad school.
Well, how often can you work as a substitute teacher?
Just about every day.
Really?
Yeah, it's tough at the beginning of the year. It's tough right after Christmas to find sub jobs because teachers are, minding their P's and Q's for the first week or two of school, and then they start dropping like flies. And it's,
Really?
yeah, they realize what kind of job they have, and they.
Well, now, why a substitute teacher? I mean, did you have a background in that already?
No, I started doing it here in Hickory before I moved. It's the best thing about it to me is I don't hate it. I can deal with kids, and then if I have to be gone for however many days, if I have to just up and leave town, I won't get fired.
Well, that's true.
Yeah. You just accept the job or you don't. It's treated as a part-time job, so it's very flexible, very nice.
Well, when you say that you can up and leave town, does that mean that your act can go on the road and does go on the road?
Yeah.
So
pick up shows whenever. If I'm not, I try to stay booked around Nashville doing. I'd say at least once a week, I go and play something for nothing. Whether it be just somebody invited me out to play with them or a writer's round or something. So I try to stay in town and stay in front of people as much as I can. Stay booked. I got 2 or 3 regular gigs in Nashville and Bellevue, Franklin area. Like the satellites, you can still make a little bit of money.
Right.
It's not like downtown Nashville, like Broadway. Of course, I'm not a honky tonker anyway. I couldn't do a 5-hour set of honky tonk or country. But if I get 1 or 2 shows out of town, I'll just get going. It's where the money is.
Right. Now, do you ever run into anybody like Eric Church is from here? Mm-hmm. Did you ever run into him before he started hitting it big? You know what?
When I first moved up there in 2003, my good friend Annette moved with me, and I think she knew Eric. I'm not sure. I'm blurred. Roseman remembers back in the day him playing the blues room.
Oh yeah, in the tap room.
Yeah, tap room. Okay, I don't recall. I just maybe that period was very blurry. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't. I might remember. I think I remember his name. Seeing his name like in the paper, Focus or whatever, mm-hmm. But I don't remember him being on any of the marquees or anything back when he was supposedly playing the same places that we were playing.
Yep. I don't recall ever. I probably did see him, mm-hmm. but I don't recall it. What a great writer, though.
He really is. And there was a show like this that I was doing at Hickory Daily Record for a couple of years, mm-hmm. and he came in and was super nice. He was as cool as you would hope that he would be. We hit it off really well, actually. It's funny. We were playing a show at Sgt. Pepper's the next night, and we got done and got off the air. And I said, "Hey, what are you doing tomorrow night?" And he goes, "I got a show at Raleigh's Verizon." Mm-hmm. And I said, "Really? Darn." And he said, "Why?" And I said, "Well, I was going to ask you to come out to the show tomorrow night. But let me see, 418,000. What a tough juggling act right there." But he was really cool. He went out of his way to come to the show. To come to the interview. Really out of his way.
That's cool.
Yeah, good fella. And he's a clever songwriter. Mm-hmm. When you get to Nashville, do you notice right away that there's a clique of the inside and then the outside? People on the end, that have the jobs mm-hmm. The regular paying jobs. And then there's those that are on the outside that may get a job here and there, but for the most part, they're on the outside.
Yeah. It's more like everybody's jealous of whoever's making money and staying in work and whatever, but it's like, for example, you could be a player, you could be a guitar player or a drummer or whatever, and you could go up there and you could get hooked up with a little country gig that's not paying much, but then all of a sudden the artist gets signed or whatever and you're gone. So you're on the road for the next year making bank. Or you could be that guy that's a really great drummer and or a guitarist or whatever and gets hooked up with an artist who's supposed to be the deal, and you play with him for 6 months and you don't make hardly any money because the label's not backing them and stuff. It's just a crapshoot. So everybody looks at it like that. Studio musicians and those who stay in work, like with regular gigs and stuff, don't look down on the other half that are just trying to break in and get some gigs and whatnot. Everybody's in the same boat.
You had talked about you weren't a honky-tonk style artist. Now, of all the people that you see coming into Nashville and that are based around Nashville, what do you think the ratio is of songwriter / artist? No, let me rephrase that. Well, let's say country to other styles.
It's much different now than it was when I moved. When I moved, it was mainly country. It was probably 70-30 country. It's got to be 60-40 now at most. Maybe more other styles than that.
You think it's because of the crossover in country that's going on so much?
Yep, because country's not the same at all. It's pop. So it's like the writers are writing stuff that they could pitch to Carrie Underwood, or then they could pitch it to Kesha. you know?
Right.
Same song
Yeah.
with some production differences.
That's right.
So it's like, it's a little different in writing for Reba McEntire and then writing for, you know, Kesha or one of these pop, you know, people.
Now, Nashville's known as the songwriters, which I forget there's a certain term, but it's where all the best songwriters in the world are supposed to be. Mm-hmm. Do you find that to be true?
I've gone to some writers' rounds before. It blew my mind. I couldn't believe it. 4 people sitting up there, and every song they sing is a number 1 that they've written.
Wow.
Yeah, ridiculous.
So I take it you go and try to hone in your craft as a writer?
Yeah, I've jumped into some of these rounds with some of these writers and stuff. And it pumps you up. It does. It makes you want to write better songs, but never been a fan of writers' rounds.
Really?
Yeah, just a bunch of artists waiting to have their turn up there.
That's right.
So you get the open mic clap, you know, after every song. Nobody cares. There's no emotion. Nobody's really listening. They're like, come on, when's my slot, you know?
That's right.
But I don't know. I'm not jaded about it. Not yet. But I hate them. I hate writers' rounds.
How many songs do you think you've written?
I've probably completed 20, 30 songs. Well, more than that. I've probably completed 30 or 40 songs. I probably have ideas for 150 songs. You know.
Do you have a recording setup at all?
We actually just did in a house. We have one in a closet. It's a cool setup. I can't wait to get back and start working on that. Me and my roommate, he's a construction guy, and he made this whole like double-doored closet into this. It's got a MIDI keyboard and everything's just a board set up and monitors coming back. So I can't wait to demo some stuff on that. That'd be cool.
Is it like Pro Tools setup?
Yeah, I think he's got Pro Tools. It's he's a drummer, so it's what's that other? There's another program like Pro Tools.
Pro Tools, Logic, Cubase.
Yeah, Logic, probably Logic, because don't a lot of people make beats with Logic or whatever?
I think so. Logic is more songwriting oriented. Why don't we take a listen to one of your songs?
Okay.
This is Closer to More.
Yeah.
This is a song that came out of your 2006 release. Mm-hmm. And there's also YouTube of this as well. You filmed the video for it?
I think so. Yeah, I think there's some live.
So you're saying I know more about you than you? I'm a Matty stalker.
You freak.
Well, let's take a listen.
This one's called Closer to More. She offers up her half body, attempt at hello. I wonder if she's ever been broken down before. As if to cause some distraction, she turns around slow, and every eye upon her back as she walks out the door. It's not like I'm the only one. She's done this before, but I wish that she knew how I tried to have something better than more. Closer to more. Closer to more. Now the drink's taking over, and I'm ringing her phone. Can I visit you? I hope it's not too late. She said, I don't want to hurt you, but I'm not here alone. You call me back again in a day or two, and I'll talk to you, okay? No, I'm not the only one. She's at it again, but I wish that she knew how I tried to have something better than this. Closer to more.
looking up at her window like it was her face, exhausted and angry with a pitiful smile. Yeah, for the poor man who's taking my place. For the poor man who taken my place. Oh, yeah. No, I'm not the only one. She's burned to the core. But I wish that she knew how I tried to have something better than before. Closer to more. Closer to more. Closer to more.
We'll get back to your show in a moment. Just a reminder, you're listening to The Mesh, an online media network of shows and programs ranging from business to arts, sports to entertainment, music to community. All programs are available on the website as well as through iTunes and YouTube. Find out more at themesh.tv and give us feedback on what you like. And now, as promised, back to your show.
Question for you about Nashville. Have you ever played the Birdcage?
Nope.
Is that something you're striving to do? Or is that still the pinnacle place to play?
You know, it was like the Bluebird and all that was. I've played just about every little venue, no matter how prestigious, on the not so prestigious night. You know, never a Friday or Saturday. But it's great. I mean, I'm glad to be on the same stage as these people who have graced it, but not a big deal. You know, not a big deal.
Well, since your last release was 2006, and you're a substitute teacher as your main job, and you talked about not being able to have a whole lot of money from the gigs themselves. So is that one of the reasons why it's been a while since a release? Financially,
it was difficult as a greenie when I cut the first record in 2006 and got it pressed and everything. I was doing everything on my own, so I hired a production company, and we rented a state-of-the-art studio and did everything
by the book.
By the book.
Regret?
Yep.
Why?
I have a regret that I didn't get the people I met around about the time that I was making the record. I met a pack of people who I would have loved to play on the album instead of we had some good players on the album, no doubt. Charlie Judge and some of them. I mean, Charlie does all the stuff on Faith Hills. I mean, the arrangements on Faith Hills and stuff, and he's a great keyboard guy. But I would change the players. But anyway, it came out. It came out well. I think the songs stand up, and financially, it was tough to rebound from that because I didn't go out and sell 10,000 the first week.
How many did you get pressed?
2,500.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So it probably set you back $3,000 or $4,000 just from that.
The having it pressed was rough. The production cost and everything, it just stacks up. Everything stacks up. So now everybody's making albums in their basement, and they sound like they're in this state-of-the-art studio that we used, which was nice. I'm glad for to have the experience of being in there, but once again, no big deal. You know.
What about the new album?
The new album's going to be an EP. I did it over the last. It's kind of embarrassing to think about now. It's taken me over 2 years. 2.5 years to do song by song as I had the money. And then right when I finish everything except pressing the CD, now I've signed with a new record label.
Oh, cool. Congratulations.
Which would have picked up everything, thank you, which would have picked up all the tabs that I paid. And timing sucks. But it's exciting. So I can't wait. In the next, the release of this EP should be within the next 40 days.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
So I'm excited about having something new to sell.
As a songwriter, do you feel that when a producer comes in and works with you, that since they're changing the song and the presentation of the song, that they should be getting songwriting credit?
No, I don't think a producer's job is to do that, but I don't think he should get publishing points for that. That's just personal. I mean, you created the song, he's polishing it into what he wants. I mean, he should get enough credits on the album and enough points on the album to where he shouldn't be worried about your publishing credits. I just think the artist should keep all those. That's personal, though. That's an opinion. I don't. Especially when the producer is reputable and sought after, and then you get him to work on your thing, he's going to take what he wants, and you're going to be happy to give it to him because if you want him to make it into a hit, make it into what everybody wants to hear.
How do you feel about people downloading music for free when you spend all this money on a recording?
I forgot about that. I really have. I don't even think about that. Burning CDs, getting stuff for free and whatnot. It's cool.
Have you had somebody come up to you and say, "Hey, man, I got a copy of your album. I love it. I burned a copy from my sister's friend"? Or
I've never had anybody walk up on me and or like people joke about that. People for the most part joke about it because they know that it's a big deal to artists who are struggling financially. So they'll say, man, I need to get one of your CDs. And I'm like, cool, well, I'll have them Saturday. And they're like, well, that's cool. No, or I'll just burn so-and-so's. And then they'll laugh because they know it's funny. It's funny to joke about that because it is a big deal. But still, if somebody in Oregon burns my CD from somebody else, good.
Right.
Good.
It's publicity.
So what's the difference between somebody in Oregon and somebody in Hickory or Nashville or Greenville or Atlanta burning my stuff? That's good. Maybe let somebody else hear it, and then maybe they get on iTunes or whatever and buy it.
Where's your bigger fan base at? Your largest fan base?
I would say Franklin, just south of Nashville, would be, I don't know, Hickory's. It's hard to tell if people come out in Hickory because it's, they know who's playing or, I mean, I do see a lot of familiar faces that Roseman's told me that they don't ever see.
Right.
So that makes me feel good. So they're coming out to see me, but it's hard to tell if, they're coming out anyway. I mean, that's the way Hickory is. Friday and Saturday night, you get a gig at one of these places, and if it's not packed, then there's a problem, because all these people are coming out.
We're going to do something that we've been doing a lot. This can be a hit or miss. It's a word association, phrase association.
Oh,
okay. I have to keep it PG now. Darn it. We're going to change that. It's going to start going rated R, and we're going to talk about like shaving monkeys. Tell me what you think about the Iranian hikers.
Take water.
Digital recording versus analog.
Analog.
I know the answer to this already, but all-time favorite artist. Or maybe I don't know the answer.
Well, it's changed. All time.
Used to be Patsy Cline, and now.
All-time favorite artist would be, I don't know, Billy Joel's up there.
Really?
Yeah, he's. I get into it with Rob all the time about he loves Elton John. And he's like, he is the best artist of all time. I'm like, well, let's look at that. Obviously, he writes the melodies and he writes the lyrics, or he writes the melodies and he writes the whatever. And he's got Bernie over there writing every bit of lyric.
Right.
So it's, how can you call him the total package artist when you got Billy Joel over here doing everything?
Right.
even getting in on the production. You know?
Do you think that songwriters have their peak? That's usually an evident question, but I don't. As I have gotten older, I don't find that to be true.
I don't think it's true either. No.
I think it's like wine; it gets better.
Yeah. Yeah. It's as you get older and life starts to get in the way, it's easier to get worse. What sucks about getting older is you're trying to be relevant with your thoughts, like what's happening on the radio and what kids are, you know. Hell, when you're 35, you're trying to write for what 20-year-olds want.
Right.
It's tough.
Oh yeah.
You know, so you're trying to be relevant, and it starts coming out sounding terrible.
Right. Right.
Whereas when you were 20, you could write for you, and then it's hitting the demographic.
That's right. What is your memory of the best gig in Hickory?
Also a toughie. You know what? When I think about Hickory and I think about the best gigs, I think about what I took for granted was when we were playing at Sundry's and Frosty was there, you know.
Right.
And he was all behind us. I think our trips to Charlotte and stuff to play with Frosty, when we used to get down and play the Bar Charlotte and stuff, like they didn't even have bands, and they would let us come in there and play and then give us a free tab. Yep, I can remember about 2 hours of that 8-hour ordeal, but no, we did have a running weekly gig at the adult dancing facility out there on 70 for. That was about 2 months of every week, once a week, going out there and playing while the girls danced. That was ridiculous. That was just ridiculous.
You gentlemen have been playing the same song for 2 hours.
I know. It's like you just dropped a verse and a bridge. What happened? And I'm like, well, you know, Jade is up here now dancing. So,
With the all-time favorite artists, I actually thought you were going to say Rob Thomas.
yeah, love Rob.
Yeah.
We just talked about, me and Jinx talked about him last night. He's so good. So good.
Let's talk about the new EP, Just One Night Away.
Yeah.
And this is out on a label called Driving Red Records.
Yes.
Now, are they affiliated with any major label?
No, they're
Total independent?
Total independent.
But they are financing.
Yes.
That's very nice.
That is nice. Praise be. Yeah.
They give you full creative freedom?
Oh, yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. Good people.
What about a producer?
Yes, we have one. And yes, I was him. No, I'm just kidding. I got to produce on these 5 songs. There's five songs on the record, and I got to produce on them. So
Why an EP as opposed to a full-length album?
I think the genres on this one are a bit different than the first album.
What are you going towards?
This one has kind of a pop country second track and some kind of ballads, but then it's got the rock and stuff too. So I figured I like the way that Jason Mraz put out EPs before he put out his album. He put out acoustic EPs, 3 of them, with 5 songs on them, and that turned me on because he put them out like 3 weeks before the album come. Every week he would put out a different EP. So I was thinking, every time I get 5 songs together and get in the studio and do them well, I'd like to put them out. Because the way that digital downloads and stuff are going.
Right.
I know it sucks for the hardcore, old school, you know, we want an album, we want a real record, like a 12, 13, 14 songs, whatever.
Right.
Now it's become like, nobody wants the vinyl of it. They just want to be able to download it so they can put it on their iPod and go about their business. You know?
Right.
So if I get songs finished, I'm going to start pumping them out. You know, I mean, that's the way, especially now that I'm being backed financially. I can, if I have an idea and I get a song finished and I want to get in the studio and do it, now I can do it. And I don't have to worry about taking out a loan or which credit card's maxed out or, you know, my fun financial life. So
Right.
the future is wide open, man. I can't wait. It's getting better and better.
Excellent. Good for you.
Thank you.
You got any big shows coming up that you want to plug?
The CD release party will be, we've narrowed it down to 2 or 3 venues, so I can't really release the date nor the venue. So no, that check my Facebook, facebook.com/Matty Mcree, and I usually keep within two to 3 days of shows updated. So
Excellent. Yeah. Well, thank you for coming into the studio today and talking with us.
absolutely.
Are you traveling back tonight?
No, I'm playing tonight at Sundry's and then hitting the road tomorrow.
Oh, excellent. Well, thanks for coming and talking with us. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
You going to play us a song on the way out?
Yep.
Excellent.
This one's called Together. This will be on the new E EP. Do you remember when we first met? You were the finest thing I'd seen, and I never will forget. You kept your distance, but I knew it from the start. Well, if you gave me just one chance, I'd never lose your heart. Time had just stood still. Right now I see you looking back at me, smiling 'cause you know I love you always, endlessly, forever. Well, it's not too far to see, dancing through this crazy life will always be together. Time changed us on this carousel ride. You giving up on faith, yeah, I can see it in your eyes. You've forgotten how sweet love can be. But hellos, goodbyes, and empty trials held you back to me, and now I see you looking back at me, smiling 'cause you know I love you always, endlessly, forever. It's not too far to see, dancing through this crazy life will always be together. No more crying now, those silly lies, those days came to an end. The moment that you held my hand and let me in. Well, you're my best friend, thank God I see you looking back at me, smiling 'cause you know I love you always, endlessly, forever. No, it's not too far to see, dancing through this crazy life will always be. And now I see you looking back at me, smiling 'cause you know I love you always, endlessly, forever. No, it's not too far to see, dancing through this crazy life will always be. You're dancing through this crazy life will always be together. Together.
You've been listening to The Mesh, an online media network of shows and programs ranging from business to arts, sports to entertainment, music to community. All programs are available on the website as well as through iTunes and YouTube. Check us out online at themesh.tv. Discover other network shows and give us feedback on what you just heard.